In the quarterback room, senior Jacob Henry joining me on the Kirby on Sports podcast. How's it feel getting back into the swing of things, sir?
Feels great. I missed it. I'm ready.
So last season, a lot of success. Not getting to where you want, but a huge step for this Warriors team. Getting that taste, being in the state tournament, how much does that translate into this year wanting to make it one step farther?
Well, I feel like that's just the bare minimum of what we need to be. But I also don't want players to think that, like, since we got that far, we did all that. I don't want people to think that we're already good. We haven't started yet. So that's just the bedrock. But we also need to remember, like, guys are hungry out there too. So we need to be hungry, and we can't just think, oh, we did good last year, that we're already good. We got to still stay sharp outside and work just as hard as we did last year, because if we already think we're good, we're just going to get punched in the mouth. So we got to be ready so we can do exactly what we did last year and keep it rolling in the future.
So what your offseason looked like, Jacob? I know very extended into the postseason, but ending the season like that, maybe a shortened offseason, or how did that look for you personally?
As soon as the season ended, we pretty much got right back into it. And if you weren't playing like baseball, soccer, basketball, like Coach Rohrbaugh had a list. He made sure who was playing, who wasn't, and he made sure that we were getting our work in. And it was just get our lift in. Like, we had a good amount of guys. Everybody was still hungry, so we got our lift in and continue with our day.
So it take me through camp. Only the first couple of days you're not in pads yet, but looks like just the competition, the quarterback room, some great competition. Well, what is that like early on being in the quarterback room with your fellow teammate as well?
I wouldn't consider myself a quarterback. One, I still want to work because Noah's a dog. He can sling it, and he's bigger. So I feel like we're just going to work together. Iron sharpens iron, and I feel like he's a dog. So it just helps each other out knowing that we're both good. So whatever's best for the team, I feel like whoever's the better player should be out there. But I feel like it's great to have a good guy. And also watching Micah, being able to compete with Micah, me and Noah both seen Micah play, so we know what it's like to be a good quarterback. So I love Noah, and we love competing. So.
And what was that like, having Micah last year, sort of maybe bouncing any ideas or anything of that nature to sort of get better coming into this season when he's now graduated?
I feel like helping Micah or watching Micah just helps you because, yeah, I wasn't out there, but watching Micah really, really just – it's like watching a veteran quarterback. Like, if I'm a rookie and Mike has been playing ball like Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, that's the type of mental reps you want to be able to have, is watching Micah, because he showed you what it's like to be a Friday night superstar. He showed you what it's like to go win ball games. So being able to watch him can just only help the rest of us.
So camp today looked like you had some really high energy. Just take me through what that was like for you and the rest of the team, having such a close bond early on.
I feel like it's good, but also we need to, we're all brothers. We all love each other, but we also need to hold each other accountable, because at the end of the day, there's somebody waiting for behind us. And I feel like if we hold each other accountable for the coaches does, it just helps each other out, because I'd rather get chewed out by a teammate than, the coaches. So, but also it's the same with the coaches. They want us just as bad, because there's always somebody behind you no matter what job you're in. So it just really helps us out completely. So having a lot of guys who are hungry just helps everybody out.
As a senior on this team, do you sort of step into more of a leadership role, and sort of, if you are, sort of take me through what that's like, maybe helping the younger kids on this team?
That's probably my biggest thing, is being able to, I want to be a leader. I like getting after guys. I like being able to really set the tone, get hype, get loud. But at the same time, it helps having the players. You want the players to love you just as much as you love them, so they can join your ship. Be the leader, you're the captain. You want to get them in to be with you, because if they don't like you, then it's just going to be a waste of your time. So I really want the players to love me as much as I love them, so we can all get hype as a team and get after it.
And last but not least, just take me through. It seems like you're very excited. What's one thing that excites you most moving forward, going into the deeper and deeper into the season?
Just being out in front of the whole town, really. I love seeing the bleachers being full. I love seeing that type of stuff, but most definitely, I don't want to let down the crowd. So you want to be able to just keep rolling, and honestly just getting out there with the guys and getting after it. And definitely prove a point that we're not just the team who lost all the seniors. Like, we're just opening more doors for the rest of us. So the guys who were waiting back watching the big seniors play, we're just hungry as much as they were when they were juniors. So it's just opening more doors for us to make a name for ourselves. We're not a different team. We're just different players.
Jacob Henry, senior on the Sherando Warriors football team. Really appreciate your time, my friend, and best of luck to you this season.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming by.
Now joining me, the head coach of the Sherando Warriors, TJ Rohrbaugh. Another season of football right around the corner. Coach, I see you smiling. How does it feel just getting back out here, getting ready for some Sherando football?
It's always an exciting time of year. We're no different than a lot of other teams in terms of, everybody puts in a lot of work in the off season, and it's all building up to this point where you actually get to come out here and start practicing. We're not in pads yet. Everybody looks forward to getting in pads, but it's just a great feeling being out here and really excited.
Coach, let's touch on last season. A ton of success. You make it all the way to the state tournament, falling to Phoebus, but a lot of positives coming out of last season. Obviously, not where you want to be, but what are you taking out of last season to bring to this group of guys to maybe take that next step forward and get even farther this year?
I'll be honest with you. When January hits and we start 2025, what happened last season is in the past. This team's a completely different team than the team that we had last season. We got some guys returning from last year, but, as a whole, as a unit, we're just a completely different football team. And, you just kind of got to reset, recalibrate, and attack 2025. And what happened last year, and it's time to reset things and get ready for 2025.
So some of the young returners to this team, do you think that experience from last year helps when it comes to giving them what they need to succeed as a coaching staff to the players another year stronger, per se?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody who had an opportunity to play last year, I think it makes you better. I think one of the big things that aided us last season was we had a lot of guys coming back with a lot of experience. That's not the case this year. We don't hide from that. We don't have anywhere near the experience coming back that we had last year, but we got a lot of young guys that have been working hard in the off season, and it's their opportunity to step up and see what they can do on Friday night. So we're excited for that.
So January hits, and I know Sherando football all too well. You're putting your guys through the most rigorous off-season program. Before this point, to get them even more in shape, bigger, better, and that's what Sherando football is all about. Take me through the off-season workouts and what really stood out to you about your off-season program.
Well, we don't really do anything special. Everybody runs an off-season program. There's a lot of good teams, a lot of good programs around here. Everybody's running an off-season program. I think it's just how you attack each day, what you're accomplishing. And I think our guys have done a really good job here throughout the off-season of not showing up for a lift and, just taking it for granted or slacking off, going 50%. We've done a good job of having intensity throughout the off-season, which is big. And, I think our guys have gotten better as a result.
So, first couple days of camp, not in pads yet, but what really stood out to you early on?
No, our guys are just really chomping at the bit. Everybody's ready to get pads on. It's one of those things when Virginia changed the practice rules several years ago, you can practice, year-round. So we've been at it all summer. So kind of coming out here in just helmets and going through the VHSL protocol, it's a little mundane for the guys. Monday when you actually get to start putting some pads on, that's when things will switch up. And, that's really the day we're looking forward to.
So I know some changes. Obviously, you lose your defensive coordinator last year, Nick Manuel, but could I say full circle getting Will Hall on your coaching staff?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. First off, Nick Manuel, we love you. I hope he does great things over there at Millbrook. Love that guy. He's a great coach, and they're going to do good things with him as the head football coach. But, yeah, having Will on staff, man, it's amazing. When I came back to the area and I first started teaching and coaching here at Sherando High School, Bill Hall was the coach. He gave me a lot of opportunities, and I'll tell you, we didn't hire Will because he's Bill's son. We hired Will because he's a phenomenal coach. He's been a great addition to our staff, very knowledgeable. But, yeah, it's just awesome, to have, a guy I worked with, a guy that I hold in such high regard like Bill, being able to have his son come back and be on staff. It's awesome. And, I joke around with Will. I'll tell you, Will's going to be a head coach in the near future. And, hopefully one day when me and Bill are both old men, we'll be coaching football somewhere, and we'll get back and we'll coach together and be working for Will one day.
And just to touch on your coaching staff more, one person in particular, Coach Combs, he brings the intensity. How huge is that not just him, but the rest of your coaches are all in this together to get your players better day in and day out?
Yeah, Mike Combs is great, man. He was a great addition to the staff. We love Mike. The kids feed off Mike. The thing about Mike is Mike's just intense at life. It's not a football thing. Mike's one of those guys, man. He works around the clock. He's got all these businesses he's running. He's just a great guy. The guys feed off of it. They love him, and it's just awesome having him out here.
So, Coach, I know you all don't really like to look forward, but if I may ask, how do you like the makeup of your schedule coming into this season?
Oh, no, our schedule, it's challenging right off the top. We open up with 3 good football teams, Amherst, Loudoun County, and Jefferson. We had opportunities to schedule other guys, but we thought those 3 games on our schedule would present us with a challenge, and we wanted to challenge ourselves, and we're looking forward to it.
Amherst County, Sherando has had some history with them in the past. Do you look at that and be like, man, just coming back, having them back at Arrowhead Stadium, what's that like?
What's in the past happened in the past. We've already got film of Amherst. We've been breaking it down, studying what they did last year. Who knows, they might come out and do something completely different, but that's a very talented football team. They got guys coming back who can flat out play. I had an opportunity to meet their coach at the state meeting. Fantastic guy, great Coach Moore, great person, really good football coach, and I know that's going to be a challenge for us week 1 because he's going to have his guys ready to play, and they got talent.
And just last but not least, the competition in the Northwestern District year in and year out seems to be very great football across the board. What are you looking forward to most in getting to compete your Warriors football team in the Northwestern District this year?
It's a grind every week, and there's been some changes. Like I said, Coach Manuel there at Millbrook, he's going to do good things. Hanley, Jake Smith, the guy I had an opportunity to coach with, he's a fantastic coach, and they're going to have good football players. And then you go down the board, Liberty has a new coach, Kettle Run has a new coach. Fauquier had a first-year coach last year who did some good things with that football program. James Wood, they return almost their entire team, very well-coached team. So every week in the Northwestern District is a grind, man. There's no easy games on the schedule. I got a lot of respect for those guys that are coaching those other schools, and it's always great competition, and looking forward to it.
I know third year in your second stint here as head coach of the Sherando Warriors. Does it seem like you're set, you have sort of a routine, and that's helping put out a great product on the field year in and year out?
Yeah, definitely. The first year, when things changed a little bit, players meeting expectations, you had an issue with that. But, year 3, the players know me. They know our coaching staff. We've had a lot of consistency there. They know what the expectations are, and they're meeting expectations, and they're doing a good job of that so far. But, yeah, just familiarity with the offensive scheme, the defensive scheme. It's just a lot smoother in year 3. But, we're always looking for ways to improve, and that's any football team. You're always looking for advantages you can get. What did we do last year? Where can we improve? And so we just, evaluated those things as a staff, and hopefully we're practicing better, we're preparing better, and doing everything better this year.
Coach, I know it's early on, 2 days into camp, but obviously you lose a great leader in Micah Carlson. It looks like 2 powerful guys back there throwing the football at the quarterback position. Maybe you haven't named a starter, but if not, what are you looking for in that next leader to replace Micah?
Just we got a lot of great kids on this team. I don't like to throw, that leadership role just because he's a quarterback on anybody's plate. But the quarterback is a position where you're a natural leader. Both those guys that we have at quarterback for us right now, Noah Taylor, Jacob Henry, they've been on a great job with leading our team. It's not just, their play on the field, but it's their preparation. It's knowing the offense. It's communicating the offense to the guys. And then they've been doing a great job. They've both been committed in the offseason and had great work ethic. And either one of those guys I feel confident in, and I'm excited to watch those guys play this year.
And just the energy of this team coming off practice, it seemed very high. How huge is that, having a team that's having fun so early?
I think that's key to it. You got to work hard, but you don't ever want it to be a thing where everybody's miserable out here. We grind, and practice is tough, and it'll only get tougher as we move through camp. But, the guys brought the energy today, but it's easy to bring the energy on day 1, day 2, day 3. It's when you get into next week and you get into that, third, fourth day of 2 days, and you don't have a scrimmage at the end of the week, nothing to look forward to. That's when you want to see the guys with that same level of intensity. It's easy right now. Hopefully we sustain that throughout next week.
High school football finally back. Pleased to be joined by third-year head coach of the Sherando Warriors, TJ Rohrbaugh, and you can hear him each and every week on the new pregame show, Kirby's Kickoff. But until then, Coach, really appreciate your time and looking forward to working with you all season.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Josh. Like I always say, best in the business, man. I appreciate it.